Thank you, Professor Satpathy. I have noted that industry academia collaboration needs to work better for standardization to take off, and collaboration is required. At this point, while we have heard people from academics, we have heard people from standard development organizations. I'll invite Deep Singh, who is the director of CATLA IT and Engineering. He is an ISP based out of Guwahati, who implements standards. He neither develops standards nor is an academician. So Deep will share his thoughts that what he thinks about standardization. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Deep Singh, Director, CATLA Broadband. We are an internet service provider in Guwahati, SSA, in the state of Assam. So today I was invited by Mr. Anupam Agarwal to speak about the standardization practices in the internet industry. So today I want to speak about the standardization practice. It's actually very important for the internet service providers. So proper standardization and implementation will lead to successful penetration of internet, and there will be decrease of cyber fraud or cyberbullying or any malpractices in the internet. So the advantages of the standardization in our internet industry is that due to the interconnectedness of all the devices or the equipments to the exchanges, there will be low latency. Earlier we were seeing there were higher latency in the entire traffic, but due to the standardization practices, there is now low latency. Another fact is that there is an increase in the traffic. Slowly there is an increase in the traffic in the entire nation, and due to the proper technology implementation, there will be less losses in the data. Previously, say last 10 years back, there were many losses in the data. Along with the data, there were losses in the physical media also. But due to the proper implementation of the standardization, the losses have been lowered now. And due to the engagement of the various stakeholders like iPhone, Basic Technologies, the Internet Society, Kolkata chapter and IIT Guwahati, they are helping the internet industry to flourish accordingly in the entire notice. So all the stakeholders should come together so that there will be better practice and there will be proper standardization that will be implemented in the entire industry. So if we do not follow the standardization practices, there are some challenges, there are some disadvantages, such as there will be no proper infrastructure growth. The infrastructure growth is very important in today's industry. If the standardization practices are not followed properly, then the infrastructure will not develop. And the lack of proper technical knowledge is the main factor for which the standardization practices is not being implemented. So there should be proper knowledge also. So people should learn how to implement those standards. And the government policies should also be parallelly implemented according to the standards, so that each and every citizen of the country should implement the standards to the internet industry. So the access to the policy makers is the main challenges that we are facing now. So when we connect the internet to the client end, then we have some certain challenges. So those challenges has to be adhered. So until unless we follow the proper standards, the implementation has not been implemented. So there are the two layers that we are talking about, the physical layer and the application layer. The physical layer and the application layer are both interdependent. If proper standards are not maintained, then these layers cannot be controlled. So as Sandeep ji has told, that each and every citizen has to adhere with the standards. That is the main that is the main goal of each and every people, that the standards has to be maintained by all of us. So implementation of standards should be incorporated to all the licenses of the internet service providers. So it has to be backed by Department of Telecommunication. There has to be proper rules and regulations so that the standards has to be maintained by each and every internet service providers of the entire nation. So all the disadvantages or the challenges that we are facing, like the cyber fraud or hacking or the cyberbullying and all those things, all those are happening only due to the low implementation of the ICT standards actually. So my suggestion is that each and every one has to adhere to the ICT standards, and it's the responsibility of each and every citizen of the nation to adhere to the ICT standards. So I will ask the stakeholders, researchers to give some input in our organization or to internet service providers so that we can implement it accordingly. So signing off, Deep Singh, CATLA Broadband. Thank you.